Hello, Flosstube. It's been a month. So that means I'm back. I have a lot to show you guys. I have a lot to talk about. I have a birthday shirt from my sister who totally gets me. She's doing well. She and her daughter went yesterday and did some care training with her husband, my brother-in-law, at the nursing home facility that he's at right now, because they're thinking that he could come home potentially in mid-May. He could stay longer. I mean, everything, you guys know, with insurance companies, and you never know what's going to happen. They could approve him to stay longer and get some more physical therapy, because he's not where he was. He still stays confused a lot. She said yesterday it was nice because he was Bill. My brother-in-law's name is Bill. She said he was Bill yesterday, which she said, you know, they got to joke together and kind of spend time together, and it was pretty wonderful. But some days he's not him. So it's back and forth. But she's doing well, and I appreciate everybody who reaches out and asks about her. And I'm going to clean my glasses on camera for a second. It really does mean a lot. It means a lot to her too. When there's a really, really sweet message, I'll screenshot it and send it to her. And she's thankful for everyone who sends good wishes, who has her on your prayer list, whatever it is that you may believe in and do. She's thankful. So there's that. I'm good. Jim is at his brother's, as is often the case when I film. He does spend a lot of time there. But that's one reason that Jim moved from New Jersey to Georgia. It's because this is where his brother was. And he wanted to be able to spend a lot of time with him because they're very close. I love it. I love my husband. We spend a lot of time together, but he spends a lot of time with his brother. And that's good, because that gives me time to do my thing, and it gives him time to do his thing, and it gives us time to do our thing. They're playing Gloomhaven today. I don't know, it's the game that they're into at the moment, so. I want to, before I get into all of my progress, gifts, plans, haul, more progress, and FFO, I want to talk about Duck Derby. And I want to just kind of get that in and out of the way. You guys know that I've done Duck Derby for the past few years. I have worked for this company for 8 years now. And I believe in what we do. It is a nonprofit organization. I work for a part of it called CASA. CASA is a national organization, but we are under this umbrella program here. My program works for children in foster care or at risk of being in foster care. And I work with volunteers and advocate for those kids in the court system. That's what we do. We look out for the best interest of the children who are in the court system in foster care. We have other groups underneath, Advocates for Children, and that is our children's shelter, our child advocacy center that does forensic interviews, our parenting programs, our RISE program that works with homeless, older youth and young adults. We do a lot. And I'm not doing this so much to toot our own horn, but to say we are fundraising right now. And if you will, I'll put a link below. If you will adopt ducks, and then once you get your receipt for those ducks, you'll get an email receipt. If you will forward that to me. Now, the actual race itself already has prizes. Like, there's a chance to win $10,000 through my organization. But as in years prior, if you will forward your receipt to me, I will enter you in my giveaway for other good stuff. No tattoos this year. I mean, if I sell, like, last year I was just shy of 5,000. Let's say if I sell 6,000 this year, I'll get another tattoo. But you guys know I don't mind getting a tattoo. But the big grand prize this year, and I'm going to do things a little differently, and I'll explain that real quick. The big grand prize this year, whoever buys the most ducks as a stitcher and forwards me their receipts, and it could be one, it could be plural, no, more than one receipt. Like if you're like, oh, that person bought more than me, I've got to buy some more. You get a hangout session virtually with, and I'm sure I'll be there in the background, but it's not about me. You get a hangout session virtually with Nicole's Needlework and Brenda and Laura. So Brenda and the Serial Stitcher. Those ladies are devoting their time, and you can spend that time with them however you want to. If you just want to shoot the shit and hang out with them and just kind of get to know them and them get to know you. If you want to spend that time going, Nicole, help me learn how to stitch in hand the way that you do. If you want to say, Laura, let's talk about tab, or Brenda, let's consult on this project that I've been wanting to figure out. I need a consult. However you want to spend that. These ladies are going to give you their time. Now, to make it fair, because not everybody has tons of money to donate for ducks, there's going to be one winner that gets that prize, who is the big spender. And then all of the other prizes are going to be random draw, like I did last year. And there's going to be one person, random draw, who's going to get that same prize. So if you get one duck, you still have a chance at winning that. So I want to make that kind of fair, but also promote sales. So I talked to the ladies about it, and we decided that would be a good way to do it. Now, with that said, last year I would draw a name, and I already had, let's say, a prize in mind. So I'd say, this is the prize for this draw, and I would draw a name, and I would say, oh, this goes to this person. This year, there's so much stuff donated, and thank you. Thank all of you for being so generous. I really want people to get things they love. So I'm going to create, whether it be a website, or I need to play around and see if you don't have an Instagram account, if you can go onto a public Instagram account and just look. Because, like, let's say I drew a name. This name is Brenda. And then I'll draw all of the names at once. And then the first person on the list gets to go and pick what they want. And then I'll say, okay, that item's gone. Second person on the list, pick. Okay, that item's gone. And that way you really get things you love. And that excites me. There's project bags. There's quilts. There's the time with Brenda and Laura and Nicole. There's so many charts. So many charts. Some kitted, some not, some out of print. There are thread keeps. There are finishing services. I've had a person or two donate a finish. There's custom bags. Guys, it's going to be exciting. So anyway, that's that. Adopt ducks. I'm already keeping a log. There will be a post closer to the time as I've collected more of the giveaway prizes. A video where it just talks about that. Okay. Can you tell I'm excited? I get excited about this every year because I kind of love to give stuff away. That's exciting. And I kind of love raising money for the organization I work with. So there's that. Okay, let's start with this. Projects. I talked a lot. We're going to have a sip of coffee. I've had a lot of coffee today, so I'm a little shaky. I'm drinking more. It's just been one of those Sundays. This is Jane Baxter. So I started off my birthday month saying I was going to start something new every Monday. This was my second Monday start, which was my next, or actually I just started this when I did my last video. I'm doing this on a piece of Lakeside vintage maple sugar with the country sampler conversion. I am super excited about this, guys. You know, as you hold it back, you always get a truer color of the linen. This is a beautiful piece of linen. I think I have another piece of it, maybe buried and stashed somewhere upstairs for some future start. These are all of the beautiful colors. Mine start looking a little raggedy. Oh, and that was one thing I was going to say. I immediately thought of Nicole first for this because she actually lived in my town once. She's moved around a good bit, as you guys know, but she actually lived here once. And so I thought it might be kind of meaningful for her, and it is, to help out this community. Because she, you know, was once her community. So that's Jane Baxter. Start that stack there. This is Maria Finney. You would think I would get things together first, but I just don't. I don't plan that way. I can't find the cover sheet, but this is good enough. This is Maria Finney, still shaking, all the caffeine. And I discarded for another project the thread that was, or the fabric that was called for. Here are the called for threads. And I am doing this on a piece of XG Design brown gray. And I started this, and this is how far I got. I really love this. I got a little obsessed with it, but this is what I did in a week. And it's really beautiful. It's gonna look lovely on this fabric. But I was most excited about my birthday week start. And I actually had another 2 starts for after my birthday week start. But I'm gonna go ahead and spoil that for you by saying I got so obsessed with my birthday week start, I didn't start anything else. So I'm still working on this and have worked on it since I started it the week of my birthday. My charts, they get a little worse for wear. Honestly, this one came a little bent because when you get the kits from Country Sampler, there's threads. You can see where the bend is. There are threads and fabric in the pouch with it. Sometimes in the mail they get a little messed up, but that's okay. I can still stitch from it. This is the Mary Argent sampler. This is a Country Sampler exclusive. You can buy it in a kit from their website, or you can call Country Sampler in Spring Green, Wisconsin. It is not cheap. I splurged on this for myself. I think I bought this last year, and it's just been sitting there, and I've been thinking about stitching it. I also set aside the linen that came with it. I actually think I have it right here. Yeah. It came with a piece of Weeks Dye Works straw, which is beautiful, but it's a little bit more gold than this photo, and I fell in love with the photo. I know I'm hiccuping. So I started it on a piece of Lakeside Linen's Vintage Exemplar. Guys, I got obsessed with it. I've been stitching on this for like maybe 3 weeks now, 2.5 weeks. It's all the called for threads on Vintage Exemplar. And it's not going to be as long as this piece of linen, and of course I did not iron it. I just took it off of my Q-snap and brought it, but it's going to be pretty square. I'm really loving this, so that you can get an idea next to it. I can't wait to get to that house. So I did the satin stitch sawtooth border, as you can see. I've got to do this side over here. Hopefully I'll get to that today. But I did the satin stitch sawtooth border, and everything else, for the most part, there's some of the hair is kind of like a satin stitch, and then there's satin stitches on the grass here. But I'm not sure I'm going to do those satin stitch. I think I might do those cross stitch. I I don't know. I'll figure it out when I get there. I love this. I love this so freaking much. With that said, a lot of my haul this month is because of this sampler. Because I really plan on continuing to work on it, except for on the 13th. On Tuesday, I've got to do my 13th piece, and then I'll get back to this. But I do my 36 count 2/2. The thread that they send you is for 1/2, which means I just don't have enough. So I have been ordering extra threads for this piece as I'm stitching, and I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna have enough of this to finish. So I'll go on wherever I can find it, and I'll be like, okay, 1 or 2 of that, and then what else do I need? And like even earlier, like I ordered from 123 Stitch as much of it as I could. I kind of went through and said, I'll need extra of this, I'll need extra of that. And like I placed my order, and one of them, of course, they were like, yeah, we actually don't have this. We said we did, but we don't. So I ordered it late last night because it's the dark brown that I'm using a lot of, the Weeks Dye Works chestnut that I'm actually stitching with right now. When it shipped yesterday from 123 Stitch, I saw that it didn't ship, and I was like, crap, that's the one I really need. So I went and found it somewhere and ordered. Of course, a chart has to come with it. So anyway, long story short, I'm obsessed with this, and I'm gonna keep being obsessed with it. I'm gonna put it right back over here so that I can put it back on my Q-snap and work on it some more. I'm keeping it in this bag, which I'm in love with, that my good friend Diana is Kismet Stitches. And Diana, I like to keep the cards that come with things like this in the bag, so the card's in there. Diana, thank you again, I love this. But this is my birthday bag with my birthday start. That is all I've been working on. So let's go through other birthday goodies that people sent me, and then we'll talk about haul. Buster, do you want to come say hello? Come here. Come here. Come on. Come on. Yeah? Come on. Why don't you see if you can't get this black t-shirt really white? He's such a brat. He woke me up at 7:30 this morning on a Sunday going, food, 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 mom, 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 food. Okay. So, Sweet Ellen sent me this. She went on my 123 Stitch wish list and bought me this, a present for my sister. I think my sister needs a present, for sure. So, maybe this will be a start later this year. Okay. Diana also sent me a piece of Fiber on a Whim linen. This is in the color Latte. It's so pretty. This enabled some other purchases, so thanks, Diana. Megan, I hung out with her one day, and we went and had dinner and stitched at her house, and she gave me this, which I've been wanting. So this, I'll have to get kitted up and start. Would you stop chewing on me? So yeah, this. She also gave me Plum Street Samplers and Friendship, which I should kit up. And she saw that I had Sable on my wish list at 123 Stitch because it was out of stock. So I put it in there as kind of a, you need to buy this. And she tracked some down for me, which is good because this is the very last threads that I needed for Halloween Eve by Blackbird Designs. He is just in a playful mood. You're not supposed to do this. Jim has always done this with him. And thankfully, Buster has never broken my skin. He is so gentle. Nine. Okay, what else do we get, buddy? Okay, these are charts that I had to have. This is from Needlework Expo. I think we all fell in love with this one. This is Stacy Nash's, it's not on the back here, Rose Cottage Sampler Pinky. Gorgeous. Love it. Lucy Beam cross stitch makes everything okayer. Dude, you are just purring it up. I love this cat. I love this cat so much. Can't you tell? Okay, all right. I needed this. Everybody has it. So many people have stitched it. This is the Scarlet House, Martha Pudsey. I didn't have it. I needed it. Brenda and Laura showed this. This is Jane Thomas, 1822. I found a copy. I don't like the entire thing, I don't think. I would like to stitch it like that. I really just want the really weird primitive Adam and Eve. And we all need this chart. Flosstube friends. This is by October House Fiber Arts, which honestly is a designer I haven't heard of. So Robin at October House Fiber Arts, honey, you knocked it out of the park with this one. You're gonna make a name for yourself, because like everybody on Flosstube needs to stitch this. With that said, I don't know that I'll write Flosstube friends on it. I may just kind of bring that awesome quirky border around. I love this. Buster likes it too. That's this is Emily on a lot of coffee. Let's see. Let's talk about all the other crap that I bought. Oh, this was a gift. It made its way over here because it has something in it. Dina, Making Life Count, I think is still what her channel name is called. Tomorrow I'll go through and put links down below. It's hard for me to get to that on a Sunday, but I'll do it Monday morning. She posted a new video. Dina hasn't posted a video in a while. So I'll try to link her video down below. And she lives locally. She's also here in Cartersville, and she's just amazing. She's such a sweet lady. But she made this for me. And it was basically a I miss my stitching friends gift. She left it on my porch because COVID. But what I have in here is what I was going to start, but then I got obsessed. So this is Anne Gott. And I think, guys, I'm going to put Anne Gott just working around the giant cat in my lap. It's fine. It's fine. I don't think I'm going to put it on Up in the Attic. I think it's going to go on this piece of baked clay. Are you done? Are you done with Mom's lap? Now that you've turned my black shirt white? Now that I stopped playing with you? It's going to go on baked clay. It's just, it's what it's meant to be. With all of the greens that are going to be in this, this has got, it's not green, but it's almost like it's got a hue to it. It's going to be perfect. So Up in the Attic, it's going to go over there to go back in my stack upstairs. And I'm covered in hair now. Thank goodness he's cute. I grabbed a few project bags because I've gotten super lazy about making them. Like, I don't think I've made a project bag for a year. So I went onto Vintage Owl Lady and I got 2 from her because I needed some spring in my life. And these are amazing. And I love that she does these little pulls that are just really unique. Like a little butterfly and a little porcelain bird. She just does a really great job. And I know I've shouted her out so many times, but check her out. And then, of course, So Much to Love makes amazing bags. So I grabbed one from her. And there's a couple of kitted starts that are over here that may go in this. So that's what I've left here. This Schoolgirl Club. This is the last one from the 2020. Now they're officially starting 2021. Margaret Croft. So this is the little card that came with this. This one I'm going to basically do this with. And I'm going to chop it off and figure out a way to make the border go around and make it more square. I don't want the verse or the cherubs, but I freaking love everything else about this. So as I adapt it a lot, I'm probably going to put my name in between the baskets. Do you want back in my lap? Is that what we're doing? So this came with the threads, came with the fabric. It came with like 7 skeins of avocado. This color. It's a lot. I have started kitting. I need to check and see what I don't have, but I think most of it's in here now. Seeking Refuge by the Scarlet House. Throwing the threads in here. I never did this before, but it's something I've started doing. I think especially the way that threads have been hard to find this year is why I've started doing it. Because I'm like, I'm going to want to start that eventually. So I'll just grab threads here and there and I'll put them in here. Another Scarlet House that I bought and kitted is, you know, you can only watch Brenda and Laura so many times and not end up with Elizabeth Hunter in your cart. As you know, Brenda has the antique on the wall behind her. So I bought Elizabeth Hunter and I got the threads. So this is ready whenever I figure out what fabric I want to do it on, and I'll pull some from my stash and start this. This one I love so much. This was a new Needlework Expo release that I love so freaking much. I immediately, like, when I ordered it, I was like, what threads does it need? I've loved this for years. Plum Street Samplers, my early days. Look how pretty the threads are. And I really appreciate that if it's something that could be done with DMC, Paulette calls for DMC. So I've even got those in there. This, I will warn you, if this is one that you're interested in, there are some, it looks like there's some over one and maybe some specialty stitch in here. Like there's a chart on the back for the butterfly, and there's a separate chart for the vase because there's some more intricate stitching done there. So if you're an Ada stitcher or that kind of thing makes you uncomfortable, may not be the chart for you, although you may be able to alter it in some way. I don't know. I haven't looked that closely. I love this. And then linen. I bought a piece of R&R Stars Hollow because this, I don't really have any R&R, and I wanted to stick this piece in my stash. I bought a bigger piece of Picture This Plus vellum because vellum is a gorgeous neutral. I mean, it just is. Kind of, you know, Picture This Plus. If you undo it a little, you can tell better. It's really beautiful. So there's Picture This Plus vellum. And then Diana's Fault, because she gifted me the piece of Latte by Fiber on a Whim, I said, who else sells Fiber on a Whim? Where can I get this? So I ended up on Etsy. I think it was Etsy. A store called the Cross Stitch Nook. Crinkle Crinkle. And they had a lot of Fiber on the Whim, but they also had a lot where they only had certain counts. So the ones that they had in my jam, which is 36 count, that I liked was this Affogato, which is kind of a green. It's really beautiful. But it, yeah, that's kind of green. It's actually really green. And then this one is Espresso. And it's really pretty. That smells nice too. And I think this is a Georgia or Atlanta based dyer. Fiber on a Whim, do I know you? Do you watch my videos? Are you someone I'm familiar with? Because this is beautiful. So yeah, here they are together, and you can see there where this is brown and this is green, and it makes it a little bit more obvious. The last thing that I want to talk about, well, actually no, I still have a couple of things. Dana Bexton from Instagram that I've kind of become friends with, not kind of, I have become friends with. She reached out to me and she said, it's your fault that I bought this, and it's Schoolhouse Stitcher's fault that I bought this. And she said, let's start it on the first day of summer, which I think is like, it's a Sunday. It's a Sunday in June, towards the end, like June 20th or something like that. Don't quote me. So she and I are going to start this on the first day of summer. And that's Northern Hemisphere summer, if you guys want to join in. I think she's looking at doing it in the called for. I'm going to pull something similar, but kind of Emily it up a bit. And I originally pulled this Legacy to stitch it on. It calls for pecan butter. Ain't nobody got pecan butter unless you, but I don't want to cut a little piece off of any pecan butter I might have for this. So I looked at this Legacy, but then I thought, I do have this little piece of Lakeside Vintage Wood Smoke. And that might be really pretty if I Emily'd the colors up and maybe made them a little bit more summer, dark but bright. I might be leaning towards that. So if you want to join us for that, for the first day of summer, the only thing that made me stop working on the Mary Argent sampler was when I hung out with Megan and I took this with me. Stacy Nash Butternut Tavern. I think I started this during Mania last year, and I've always loved it. And I got so much done on it when I worked on it earlier this year that I finished it and got it framed. So here we are. I did, this is Stacy Nash Butternut Tavern. I did it on a 36 count piece of Picture This Plus Velt. I did it in the called for with the exception of a couple of threads because these threads, the dye lots have changed. So the Sawtooth, that blue, calls for Otter Creek, which has gone from blue to green, so I use Brethren Blue. The Horse in the Roof called for Walnut, which is no longer a blackish shade. It has gone to more of a mauve. So I use Classic Colorworks Black Coffee. And then the brown in here, I switched to a DMC because it called for something that was too close to Ginger Snap. And then I got it framed at Michael's. I love it. You gotta figure out a place to put it. Last thing, I kind of want to talk about a couple of things I'm into. I love it when people do that at the end of their videos. So, things I'm into right now. I'm into spring. I'm really into the fact, and I'm usually really a fall and winter person, but I enjoy that things are blooming and there's life outside, and I've kind of gotten into planting things. I have some plants at my office at work right now. I've kept my plants alive on the back porch. I've got an African violet in the windowsill now. We hired a landscaper who has done some work in our yard, but more like hardscaping, so that I can do the planting. So I'm waiting on him. He's put sod in some places that needed sod, and I'm waiting on him to do the bed in front of our front porch because he dug up the old, overgrown, ugly shrubs that were here when we moved in, and I'm gonna plant, and I'm excited about it. Do you want to come up here instead of just sitting on the floor and staring at me and purring? Come here. All right. I go through phases where I'm into my diffuser, and then I'm into candles, and then I'm into my diffuser, and then I'm into candles. Right now is a candle phase. So I just got a Bath and Body Works order where they had like buy two, get two. And they all smell like food. I think I got, my favorite is probably the Blueberry Biscotti. And then there's a jam donut. Yeah, I have a problem. Yeah, people want to see you. Something I've acknowledged about myself is that I'm almost too picky to pay people to do things, but I'm too lazy to do them myself. So like, I mean, like taking things to Michael's or hiring a landscaper, like they'll do it and then I'm like, that's not how I would have done it. And I'm like, I told you what I wanted. Maybe there's an issue, like maybe I need to draw a picture and then write it in paragraph form and tell you, because maybe you're like, I don't know what kind of learner you are. It's a struggle. But I know it's because I'm really picky. So I don't ever say anything to anyone because I know, but I was telling Jim about it last night and he's like, I think that's part of it, that you're really picky. And I think the other part of it is, it's just hard to find people now who have like pride in workmanship and who like really want to do their job well, which I also think is part of it. I've gotten into skincare. I got into skincare probably about 1.5 years ago. So I want to share a couple of the things that I love, that I have like, because I'm not wearing any makeup right now. I don't even wear foundation anymore. I've always had breakouts, like especially around my chin and here and like my T-zone. And while this is a little expensive, I'm on my second bottle of this. It's expensive. But a couple of drops, like I used this for 6 to 9 months before I bought another bottle. And this is for oily to acne prone skin. It's 1.5% salicylic acid, but it's also like all of these really good for you, like herby things. It smells like really earthy. It's green, like you can smell it. But yeah, the oil is green. But if I have any places where I've been really oily, or I think I'm getting a breakout, or if one has popped up and I'm like, oh, I don't want to deal with that, before I go to bed at night, like after I wash my face and get all my makeup off, sometimes I double cleanse. I don't always. I've kind of fallen out of that habit. But I'll clean and tone and put this on. And like I'll spot treat or the areas that really need it. And then I haven't found anything that I like for like around my eyes and stuff. Like, well, actually I have. I found something that I love. I found a Kate Somerville that I love, that I got as a little trial size. Yeah, it's way too expensive. So I love Kate Somerville's like retinol vitamin C serum that goes around your eyes, but well, not just around your eyes, but that's where I use it, because if it's that expensive, I'm only using it where it really needs to go. This is what I've been using as a moisturizer at the end. I've been using the Trilogy brand, but it's expensive. So this got a lot of good reviews all over the internet, and this is just rosehip oil, rosehip seed oil. And you hear a lot of people talk about this, and I really love it. You got to make sure where you buy it from, though, that it's fresh, because oils can turn, and they kind of smell like fish when they turn. Nobody wants to be putting that on their face. So this one, it's a nice gold color. This is the way it should be. And it smells a little odd, but it's a really good natural moisturizer, especially for somebody who has kind of oily skin. It's a dry oil. So that, I found that works really well for me. When we're talking about skin and hair and everything, you may also be thinking, holy crap, Emily, wasn't your hair just really short? My hair grows fast anyway. I started taking this because my nails were breaking constantly. I don't care if I have pretty nails, but I do care if they snag on my needlework. So when they were like splitting and breaking, and I felt like I was always trimming them or chewing on them, which is something I do with anxiety, I chew on the edge of my nails and my cuticle. This has not only strengthened my nails, my fingernails and my toenails, but my hair has grown like crazy. I have noticed, like, where I had bleached my hair blonde, so much of it had broken off and was unhealthy. This has really, really helped. And you know, it helps skin too. I'm sure it's doing things for my skin I'm not just seeing. And yes, I take gummies because I'm a 12-year-old, but I like gummies. I love this stuff. I order it off Amazon whenever I need it, and it shows up like the next day. And this is Vitafusion Biotin Extra Strength 5000 mcg, and it tastes good. The percent daily value of biotin that you get is 16,667%. I don't know. So there's that. The other thing that I have discovered that really makes my hair happy, except for my ends are still, I think that this very last part here is still from where I bleached it. So there, you know, you can never really fix that. But this conditioner, I love. If you dye your hair, you know that the conditioner that you put on, like after you've colored it, like as soon as you put it on your hair, you're like, oh, well, I was worried, but now it's all silky again. This everyday conditioner feels the same way. It's sulfate free, paraben free, all of that free. It's good for your hair, but it's avocado and argan oil by Hair Food. I've been using this since before the women on My Favorite Murder started promoting this. I love it. It's awesome. I actually bought it at Target first, and then they stopped, my local Target stopped selling this particular avocado and argan one. So I've been buying this on Amazon, and it gets delivered to my front porch because that's how I roll. During the pandemic, like the pandemic is still happening. I'm not one of those people that thinks that it's over. But when Georgia was still much more locked down, if I could order it on Amazon and it show up on my front porch, that's what happened, because I didn't want to leave my house. I didn't want to go in the store if I didn't have to. So I discovered so many of my normal products that can be delivered to me. So that's what I do. Seems like there was something else that I wanted to tell you guys that I was really into, but if I think of it, I'll talk about it next time. But yeah, I miss talking to you guys. I should do this more than once a month, but finding the time is hard. So if you want to join me and Dana on the first day of summer, do that. If any of the things that I've showed that I bought that I want to start, if you want to start them, do that. Ellen Reed from Maximum Cross Stitch Power Hour is doing a sale in July for her birthday on GGR's Mira Griffiths. I'm going to be kitting that up to start with her. So if you're interested in that, go watch her latest video and check it out. And also adopt ducks. Help out a good cause. Help me out. Make sure that you email me your receipt so that you can be entered in all the giveaways. And like I said, I'll show a video later with all of that in detail that you can win all of the great stuff. But you can win time with Brenda and Laura and Nicole, and that's going to be a hoot. So, all right, guys, I've talked long enough. I'll see you next month.